Hello, welcome to OP Comics again. I'm your host, Konner Elmore, and today we are presenting, quite possibly, I believe, the greatest Spider-Man run to ever be written.
Yes, 10 out of 10.
And that is Marvel's Ultimate Spider-Man. So, if you haven't seen the previous episode, the point of this show is that I've been reading comic books for many years, and my two co-hosts here,
Jay Allen,
Kaleb Elmore,
they didn't grow up reading comic books, but they have now read this comic book for the very first time. So you're going to get their first time review of this book, and we're going to go through the book and just tell you what we think about it. So, guys, any initial impressions on this book?
I think that it is. I love the younger Peter Parker in this comic. I think it makes a whole lot of sense, and it's just fun to do. He's figuring everything out, and he's just. It's good. It's a good Spider-Man. I like this Spider-Man.
Yeah, this is probably my favorite interpretation of Peter Parker. I mean, this is the one I grew up with, and it just holds like a special place in my heart and my understanding of Spider-Man.
Yeah, so it's Spider-Man, my favorite hero, so.
Yeah. So let's just jump into the book. The book starts with Norman Osborn experimenting on a spider. Classic lead up, you would think. And we see the spider get loose from containment. So that's ominous, and we're going to cut to that later. And then we cut to a young Peter Parker reading his science book at the cafeteria.
All by himself.
All by himself. And he's got these two losers who are treating him like crap. They're throwing food at him.
Yeah, what? Flash Thompson and
Kong.
Yeah,
which is a Brian Michael Bendis send up. He's like put himself in the book, basically.
Oh, okay. And that's Flash Thompson.
Yeah, and Flash Thompson, classic Peter Parker bully.
Yeah.
Son here.
I can't say I've ever seen Flash with a bowl cut. That's the first for me.
He does have a bowl cut in this.
That's crazy to me. He's always had like this jock hair, spiky.
Yeah, Peter's the one with the jock hair in this.
Yeah.
I know. It's all flowing and everything.
But anyway, they're picking on him, counting points, they're throwing food at him. And
teenager stuff.
You see him and Mary Jane. Mary Jane is in this book, same 15 years old, just like Peter. They're all 15 years. Everyone's aged down to 15 years old.
Now I will say I like Mary Jane in this one. She actually seems to.
She's an actual character.
Yes, she actually has stuff to do with the story, I believe.
Yeah, she's a lot more interesting in this book than how a lot of readers want to treat Mary Jane, which if you're reading the current Spider-Man run, you know all about how they feel about how they treat Mary Jane, which, as you know, she's with a guy named Paul and has children.
Yeah. That kind of sucked.
And jackpot powers.
Yeah.
Which is like a roulette wheel? I don't know.
I didn't read the book. Yeah.
So it's kind of like that one dude.
It's Zeb Wells.
It's kind of like Kite from Hunter x Hunter. Remember, he spins a little wheel?
That's basically what it is, I think.
Oh, cool.
Don't say that's cool.
Oh. Well,
because Mary Jane having powers isn't cool.
I think it'd be cool. All depends on how you write it.
It sucks.
It'd be cool if I had them.
It's lame.
How?
It's
It'd be
so
cool
stupid.
if I had them.
Powers lame.
Look, would you not think it's cool if you had them?
That's not the point of the thing. It's the point of the thing. Well, first of all, it's entirely stupid that she has the power. What? Because she has a catchphrase saying, "Tiger, you hit the jackpot," so therefore she has jackpot powers?
I totally forgot that's a thing.
That's why it is. That's why that's a thing. And it makes no sense. And it's stupid.
I'm just saying, it'd be cool to have.
And they got to treat Peter. This is why I wanted to do Ultimate Spider-Man. Partly is because the current Spider-Man run is such a downer. They've dragged Peter through the mud.
Oh yeah,
they keep kicking him down.
They hate Spider-Man.
I think people, yeah, it's crazy.
For him being the poster boy of Marvel, he gets dragged on a whole lot, you know.
And, yeah, he gets destroyed in main continuity. So I'd love to go back to better times where we got a fresh new start with the Ultimate continuity.
I kind of like.
And this is the only Ultimate book I like, by the way. I don't like any of the other Ultimate comics, but that's neither here nor there. Spider-Man was the only one I was reading, and I was more than fine with that.
I had Tobey Maguire Spider-Man kind of copied this.
Yeah.
That was pretty dope.
Oh yeah, he did, didn't he?
Yeah, it started off as he's on school shield, and now people bullying on him.
Except
Spider.
Except Toby had that like web shooting out of his actual hand, and that was weird.
Yeah, I don't like that I don't like it when they do that to Spider-Man because it takes away how smart he is.
I like it.
He invented the web shooters. He's smart.
I mean, it's still. I mean, he can still show other ways to be smart. I mean,
yeah, Spider-Man.
One of the most iconic things about Spider is them shooting webs out there by.
That's why he has the web shooters.
I know, but like,
I mean, Reed Richards himself gave Spider-Man props for being smart. So, I mean, that's a big deal.
Yeah, he did do that.
He gave him props.
So did Tony Stark.
Yeah, the greatest smile.
Yeah,
I think even Doom at one point said that Spider-Man is, you know, dangerously intelligent.
He's smart.
Except, you
wouldn't think that if you were reading the current Spider-Man run, because how fucking stupid he is. But whatever. To get back in the book, they're throwing food at him.
It's so childish.
They're embarrassing him in front of Mary Jane, who just looks at him shamefully, and he looks down.
Why didn't she stick up for him, you think?
She feels bad for him, but it's like, it's high school.
You
tell me, when you saw someone get bullied and you thought it was wrong, did you step in?
If I saw someone throwing stuff at y'all, yeah.
No, this was just at some kid, though. If someone was doing that to some kid. Like, if they're doing that
That's fucked up, but
you wouldn't step in.
I would like to think I would.
I wouldn't. I'm not going to lie. I'm not wrong business.
That's because you're an asshole.
And they throw a taco at him eventually. And they get food all over him.
It's a waste of tacos.
And
I like food.
That's when we're introduced to Uncle Ben of this universe. And Uncle Ben in this universe, he's not some 90-year-old man.
He's a shit.
He looks stacked.
He has like a ponytail. Yeah. He marched in the 60s. The man went to Woodstock.
He gives me hippie vibes.
Yes, he's a hippie.
There you go.
He's cool.
He looks jacked in that photo.
Well, that's probably just because Mark Bagley drew him that way.
Oh.
But I like Mark Bagley's art. He's a terrific Spider-Man artist.
Flash's haircut just makes me so mad.
Oh, he's ugly. He has an ugly haircut for an ugly person.
Fair.
So Uncle Ben comes in. He comforts Peter. He invites Mary Jane over. He looks at Flash and Kong, and makes them leave Peter alone. And he eats lunch with Peter, kind of make him feel better. Cool uncle.
But I would have taught my nephew how to box for real though. Like, just saying.
Yeah, they don't believe in violence. I think the hippie aspect, like they don't believe in violence.
I mean.
Yeah.
But, and at this point in Peter's life, he would lose big time.
I mean, yeah.
I mean, look at the size of Kong. I mean, that's a big man.
Yeah, he's massive. He looks like a 40-year-old man.
What are you doing?
You want to hustle kid that reached that age.
And then, and in the next scene, Harry comes in.
Yes.
And he's a Chad.
Harry Osborn shows up. They're still bullying Peter, Kong, and Flash are, until Harry Osborn steps in. And he's sort of friendly to Peter, but only in his own interest. Only for his own gain. Because Peter does his homework for him. So he likes Peter, but you could tell if he really was friends with Peter, he could make Flash and Kong stop.
I mean, you're the son to a billionaire scientist.
Yeah, because he just tells him to roll it off. Like, just deal with it.
Yeah.
But, come on, man. He said I have to protect my image. What?
And then we cut to them at the gym, and we see that Flash can dunk. So
he can hoop.
And Kong's making buckets.
Hey, yeah, you missed out the part of that. Your boy Devin dunked.
Oh, he
like
did.
5 people.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, he did.
And then Peter goes up to shoot, and he completely whiffs it because he's not a sports guy.
Hey, yeah. I mean, on the picture, he's very...
In the scene, they seem like it's funny, though, so...
It is funny because the coach gets upset.
Then the assholes had to come in.
And then Flash had to make fun of his uncle.
Flash was just asking for it.
Flash is an asshole.
He made fun of his ponytail, guys. You never make fun of a man's ponytail.
And then we cut to Peter's at home with Aunt May and Uncle Ben, and we see this is different from main continuity because Aunt May and Uncle Ben are a lot younger than they are set in the main continuity.
Yeah.
Main continuity, they're like 90, and this one they're like 60 at most.
Mm-hmm.
They're a lot more.
I know I kind of like the
younger. I like it too because it's more interesting character stuff that they're younger.
Yeah,
not some geriatric.
Yeah.
And Aunt May's worried about Peter. She thinks he has social anxiety disorder because he's so quiet. But Ben plays it off like, no, he's just thinking. That's why he's quiet.
Yeah. But can you blame him if he had it, though? I mean, scrawny, probably like 5, 6, 100, and like 102-pound kid getting bullied.
How tall is he? Spider-Man?
He's not that tall. He's 15.
Fair.
But Peter is reading, and they're messing around. They have a happy family life, and it's sweet to see. And we cut to Harry comes over to Peter, and they're doing homework. And we see Peter's working on a certain adhesive that his father created. Which, of course, would be the web shooters. They'll come into play later.
And that's when you kind of see Harry's kind of...
And then you see Harry has a tough life at home because Norman is not Dad of the Year.
Never been a good dad.
Oh, gosh.
And Norman's very much a businessman in this continuity. He's not... He's kind of like the evil corporate business person. And he has no time for his son, which he makes abundantly clear. And Harry feels bad about that. But we see the school goes on a trip to Oscorp, which is the business Norman Osborn runs. And during the field trip, the spider that we saw get loose earlier that they were experimenting on bites Peter, causing him to wig out. And then Kong stomps it to death.
Oh, God, I feel bad for that thing.
And Peter passes out.
And of course, Flash is talking shit the entire time.
Of course. He says the spaz is freaking.
He just got bit by a gigantic spider. I mean, I feel like that's fair to do. I mean, what are y'all thoughts on that?
I wish I got bit by
a spider about that big around, guys.
It was a big spider. It was as big as his hand.
Mm-hmm.
He was bleeding from the bite. But he's got a bandage on his hand. He's like, man, this shit always happens to me. And then we cut to Norman Osborn getting a briefing on it. And he's like, okay, what's this going to set us back? He's only thinking about, like, they're going to sue us.
Yeah.
Does not.
I've been there worried about money. It's kind of funny.
That's all they care about. But Norman is interested in a little more than that.
Mm-hmm.
Norman wants to keep an eye on Peter for some reason. And so we cut to the next day at school. Flash and Kong are making fun of him.
As always.
As always. And earlier in the book they established that Flash and Kong played this game where they kick him in the back down on the floor.
Ouch.
And this time when Kong readies up a kick, Peter senses it, gets out the way, and flips him onto his face.
That's funny. He deserved it anyway, though.
Oh, he definitely deserved it. And then Peter blacks out again. He goes to the doctor. Like, hey, what's wrong? You passing out? Like, we're gonna run some blood tests and all that. And she see when she thumps her, a vein shoots up his arm, like his body's reacting super quick to stimuli. And she mentions how thick a skin he's got when she's putting the needle in.
Which I did some research on that today because it made me curious of how durable he is to blades and bullets. Which, I mean, I know he can still be shot and stuff, but I think of it as like a Wonder Woman thing, you know. When it comes to blunt force trauma, he got it. But if it's like blades or like piercing, I mean, he's, of course, better than an average human, but...
Yeah, he can definitely be shot and cut and stuff like that, but...
I mean, he's more resistant to it than you or me would be.
I guess so.
I mean, that needle had trouble getting in, so...
That's true.
With you, I mean, it just... done.
But we see this guy steals the blood sample of Peter at the doctor.
Which is probably a good thing.
And they realize that the spider being experimented on was infested with this chemical called Oz. And due to that, the Oz was injected into Peter. And Oz is killing Peter, according to their test.
Yeah.
So Norman Osborn says he's a liability now. Kill him.
Yeah. That would be a really fat lawsuit.
And so we see Norman Osborn's agent. We get another nice family moment with Uncle Ben and May. Those are spread throughout.
Yeah.
But we get this moment where Norman Osborn's agent is pulling up to Peter in his car to run him over. Peter senses it and backflips over his car.
Backflips with a triple twist. With a flying swan.
And the guy, he sees the guy crash. He's like, oh my God, mister, you okay? He pulls a gun and waits for Peter to show up. Peter senses that and runs away.
It's a neat little thing to have.
Spider Sense is pretty great. But when Norman Osborn hears that Peter did this, he's immediately like, abort the mission, don't kill him.
Yeah.
It needs further looking into. He wants to study that kid, not kill him. And Peter started to put it together that ever since the spider bit him, he's been different. Because he's a smart guy, like we've established.
Yeah.
So he takes a look at his blood. He sees the Oz interacting with it. And he notices it's nighttime. He goes up to talk to Uncle Ben and Aunt May. They figured out he didn't go to school today, which is because he was almost murdered this morning, which he doesn't tell them. But he's like, where you been all day? He's like, I was in my lab. What were you doing? And they're like, why didn't you go to school? He's like, I didn't feel like going to school because school is torture for me.
Yeah.
I'm tortured at school. But as he's leaning against the wall, his fingers are laying on the wall, and he pulls out pieces of the wall. His fingers stick to it. And he's like surprised by that. And they send him to his room because he's arguing with Aunt May and Uncle Ben. But while he's in his room, he realizes that he can stick to walls, and he climbs up onto his ceiling and hangs upside down, figuring out he has spider powers.
Dun, 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 dun.
So the next day, he's still adjusting to his senses and all that,
Yeah.
and his strength. And so he breaks his desk into pieces.
What? Why did he break it?
I mean, he didn't know how to
He
control his
spazzed
strength.
out, yeah.
I mean,
Oh, I thought he was trying to pop his back.
I mean, given
Because-
how strong Spider-Man is, I mean, you barely touch something.
I mean, but have you ever tried to pop your back on those desks? I mean, that kind of that's when I first saw it. That's what it reminded me of. You just push against the desk and pop your back.
I mean, yeah.
I mean,
Of course, when Flash and Kong see Peter do this, they gotta make fun of him.
like way
But this time Peter jumped back at him saying, hey, how about you shut that stupid face of yours or I'll shut it for you? To which they stare at him aghast, and then they laugh at him. They go, okay.
Air Force energy now, you better.
It's like, sure you will, Peter.
So I'm not going to talk about somebody who shattered their desk.
Well, Peter goes to the bathroom to look at himself. He's like, maybe I should talk to a doctor, but I feel great. And then he realizes he has muscles now.
Yeah, he's getting jacked.
I wish it was that easy.
Just get bit by a spider, and there you go. You're jacked.
They're back in gym class. They're just playing basketball, and we see Flash hitting on Mary Jane.
Very aggressively.
They call her Brainy Jane in this because she studies and smart, you know.
Yeah, she's not a dumb bimbo like.
Yeah, she's not
continuity.
a bimbo like some main continuity books will paint her as. But Peter sees this and launches the ball at Flash, hitting him in the face.
Oh, goodness. Getting hit. It hurts.
And
man.
Flash is like, okay, we're fighting this afternoon. Let's go. This is a funny thing. He's like, 3 o'clock, it's only 1 hour away. He goes, really? What's 5 plus 4? 1 hour. And then the coach sends Flash away. And we see Mary Jane thank Peter, and he feels good about that. So Flash and Peter are fighting at the parking lot later. And Peter is effortlessly avoiding Flash's punches.
There's also kind of a reference they made in the Tobey Maguire
in
movie.
Tobey Maguire movie, yes.
But it was in the parking lot, it was in the locker, like the hallway.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then eventually, Flash throws a punch, and Peter puts his hand out, and Flash shatters his hand
Which is
on Peter's.
that was dope.
And Peter's like, and everyone's just like, oh my god.
That's crazy.
I would have broke his other one.
He deserves to have his other one broken. And we cut to Harry Osborn at his house, and Kong's talking to him. He's like, yeah, Peter beat up Flash. Like, it was insane. And Harry's like, I just told y'all to leave off of him. But we see Norman's listening in, and he hears that Harry knows Peter.
Oh, time to exploit my son.
So now he's like, hey, Harry, come here. I'll hang out with y'all. Why don't you bring Peter over here? Why don't you bring that boy Peter over here and hang out?
He's a douche.
And Harry's, of course, like, yeah, of course, because he just wants nothing but his father's love and attention.
Sorely lacks.
But Norman is definitely taking advantage of Harry. And then, of course, we find out, as with people like Flash, there is never any winning, because Flash's family is now going to sue Peter's family for breaking his hand.
I mean, technically he broke his own arm, but you know.
I mean, he instigated it and he was punching, but you can't really prove.
They can't afford lawyers to go to a court over this, so they have to pay for his bills.
I would spend the block on him.
So Flash is a coward and a loser.
Yeah.
As all bullies are.
And Peter's upset. He's like, man, what am I supposed to do? I don't defend myself. They beat me up. I defend myself, and now you're mad at me. Like, what am I supposed to do? And they're like, well, you can't break people's hands. And he's like, whatever, and he leaves. He's struggling with his identity. But he's like, nah, later that night, like, I'm going to go practice my powers. And he does that. He's practices acrobatics, his stickiness. He lifts a car.
In some continuities, you see him struggle to pick up a car.
Yeah, his strength definitely fluctuates depending on the writer.
And so does his durability, and just, it's comics. Nothing is sacred. Nothing's set in stone.
Yeah.
That's a better word for it.
Peter apologizes in the morning to Aunt May and Uncle Ben. They forgive him.
I wouldn't apologize.
You're just petty, Jerry.
We cut to Osborne Industries, which I would call it Oscorp. That's what I call it. I guess it's because it's called that and other stuff, but in this it's called Osborne Industries. Harry takes Peter to tour Oscorp, and we see one of the doctors there is none other than a Dr. Otto Octavius.
Oh,
Big
foreshadowing.
You know what's always made, what's funny is his name, Otto Octavius. It's almost...
It was destiny for him to be Doc. Well, they call him Doc Ock.
It was almost too perfect.
They call him Doc Ock in this.
I know, and he's cool with it.
No, I don't
what
think
if you got? What if you got called Octopus all day? I mean,
I don't know.
I feel like it
I
get
feel like
old.
Doc Ock's a cool name, but
I enjoy Doc Ock as a Spider-Man villain. I feel like he rivals Green Goblin in that respect.
well, in this it's interesting because in this we see Spider-Man's villains are all introduced as Spider-Man is being introduced. Like we meet them all before they become his villains, which is cool. So, Dr. Otto Octavius, aka Doc Ock, is asking Peter questions about the spider, and he pulls out a syringe. Peter senses it, and Doc Ock takes a blood sample from Peter without his permission,
which is crazy,
making Peter freak out and run out. Understandably, because what the fuck?
I'm running hands.
No, and how is he fast enough? And I guess he has to react to his spider sense, because I feel like he's definitely fast enough to be like, whoa.
He is, but he has to acknowledge that spider. He has to react to that spider sense.
He just
so.
He's still getting
I guess he just thought he wasn't a threat.
Well, he just he just didn't know. He just said danger behind you. Probably is what he sensed, and he was just like, what? And then he got hit in the eye.
I guess that is understandable, because who grabs a syringe and hey, can I take your blood? Oh yeah.
They're looking at Peter's blood, and they say earlier when they said the Oz is killing him, now it's enhancing him.
I need some of that Oz.
And that's Norman Osborn is much thinking the same as you. And he's like, I need some of that Oz. If it works, time to use it on me.
Yeah.
If it worked on him, let's use it on me.
Yeah.
Because I'm just better than everyone.
Yes, that is what he believes.
I mean, if it'll work for a loser like him, it should definitely work for me.
No, that's exactly his point, because later he says, what this does, it enhances what's already there.
Yeah.
So because there's a spider, it made him an enhanced spider person.
Mm-hmm.
If we use the odds on me, I'll just be a better me,
Mm-hmm.
which is already better than everyone else, so I'll be so much better than everyone else.
I mean, you got $1 billion. What else do you want?
Probably more than $1 billion. I don't know how rich
He's
Green
probably
Goblin is.
mogul. Yeah, I don't know.
He reminds me of Lex Luthor, honestly.
Yeah, he kind of is.
I mean,
He's more psycho.
Yeah.
I mean, he's literally. I mean, he's a Lex Luthor with red hair.
And
Lex Luthor with hair.
well, Lex Luthor had red hair.
I know. I mean, basically Lex Luthor.
So we cut to a wrestling match that all the kids are at. This guy named Crusher Hogan's calling people out. And they're offering money. Anyone who can take down this guy, Crusher Hogan, gets this money. And Kong says, step aside, I'm in.
I mean,
And they're like, how old are you? 15? Ooh, get out of here. You're a child. And he's like, whatever, dude. And Flash is like, Parker, you go get him. And Peter goes, you know what, Flash? How about you hop in the ring? And when you lose, your family can sue his family.
Burn.
burn, bro.
Which Kong indeed says. He says, whoa, Parker knocks one out of the park.
I mean, even Kong, I feel like, realizes that Flash is a loser.
I mean, you lose a fight to the biggest loser in your high school. I mean,
No, but it's just, you know.
So we cut to Peter, and he's putting on a little makeshift outfit to hide his identity and face Crusher Hogan for this money. And he jumps in the ring with his makeshift. It's awful. It's an awful outfit.
yeah, I mean, he is a broke student. I don't know.
Yeah, and he jumps in, fights him. He picks him up over his head and slams him down.
And this is a big dude, guys.
Takes his money. And then he gives that money to Uncle Ben and Aunt May secretly, anonymously,
Mm-hmm.
so that they have money to pay for Flash's medical bills.
And I just love Spider-Man for the fact that he's like the witty comeback kind of hero.
Yes.
He always has something to say.
He always has these great witticisms.
Like, when he dropped the guy and he asked if he was okay, he's like, you think I've never been dropped on my head before? And he's like, no, I was pretty sure you have been. I mean,
He's great at the
he's
quips.
funny, man.
He is funny. The coach comes up to Peter. He's like, hey, you saw you got some skills the other day when you threw that ball in Flash's face, I guess. Like, that was really epic how you did that.
You were just so accurate, you know.
Like, you really nailed his face. Like, it was awesome. And Flash just got a broken hand, and he was the starter. We need an extra guy. Can you play? And Flash, of course, like, what? No, you can't let him take my spot. And he's like, you got a broke hand, dude.
Yeah, nothing you can really do.
And Peter's not interested until Flash is saying, no, he can't do it. And then he goes, oh, no, I'll do it if it pisses Flash off. I'll do it.
Of course.
He's just petty. Spider-Man's petty, guys.
And he demolishes them. The score ends up being... imagine going to like a middle school basketball game, and the score is 114-26 with guys dunking. 15-year-olds, white kids dunking.
Hey, which is weird. Do you think he got noticed by some big guys up there for his basketball?
I mean,
You would think.
Like, no one,
114
like,
points. I mean,
I wouldn't be surprised if later in the comics someone's like, "Hey, you want NBA deal?"
I mean,
Once you reach 18, you know,
no, let's go with
college.
Yeah, there's no way we score 114 points at our school.
Carlisle's not basketball's not our forte.
No.
Baseball, I mean, we make it to state every year, so or close enough to it.
Yeah, we're not shabby at baseball.
We're not shabby at baseball. Our football team's like in that middle area.
It's a hit or lose.
It's a hit or
hit or lose.
Like me and Jay's grade.
I like to think so.
There'll never be another breed like that. That's all I'm gonna say.
Mary Jane asks Peter if he wants to hang out. Basically,
Of course.
he's like,
Hell yeah.
and he's like, oh wait, I can't because I have to go wrestle Crusher Hogan secretly because he's doing that for money.
Dang.
And that's where they come up with Peter's name, because when he wins against Crusher Hogan, the announcer guy's like, hey, I need a name. And he goes, I don't know, the Spider. And the guy goes, the Amazing Spider-Man.
Dun, dun, dun.
Which is just great.
Making history. And so Spider-Man now gets his money, and the announcer guy says, look, the suit you're in is terrible. So I made this for you. And he gets his red and blue spandex, which looks great.
Yeah.
It's missing a few things. It's the
a
red
major-
and blue.
Yeah,
It's missing the webs and the spider logo.
So awesome.
And we see Norman Osborn is about to experiment on himself with the Oz,
And of course, I mean,
and it backfires immediately.
who would have known?
We can all see where that's just going. I hope.
We see the wreckage of the lab afterward. It's torn apart. People are dead.
One guy has a piece of rebar just stuck through his chest.
Because, had to tweak it.
And so Spider-Man is wrestling Crusher Hogan again, and he's beating his ass.
I mean, I stopped wrestling.
Is there no other wrestlers? Is it just him?
Well, I think Crusher Hogan
It's just
is
those
like the
two.
biggest
Like,
one. Like,
yeah.
he's the strongest wrestler, so it's like,
I mean, there's like...
I stopped wrestling.
And they say that there's money missing. The announcer does. When Peter comes backstage, they say there's money missing. And he accuses Peter of stealing it. And all the rest of the guys are like, yeah, you stole it. Let's take that mask off. Which causes Peter to run away. And he encounters this thief who's running away from the deli that he just robbed. And he runs into him.
Had a chance to stop him, but of course he didn't.
He has a chance to stop him, but he doesn't.
Said it's not his problem.
Says, yeah.
Which, I mean, put down in the comments what y'all would do. Because
I
that's a stressful situation.
wouldn't let it happen.
Well, you're not the...
Well, it's the whole point is with great power comes great responsibility.
I mean, yeah, he could have did something about it, but for your everyday Joe, I mean...
Yeah, but that's the thing. He's not an everyday Joe, and he knows he's not.
Just put down in the comments, guys, what would y'all do?
And we see that Peter's grades are slipping because he's doing this wrestling thing. He's not keeping up with school. So
I mean,
Uncle
on the
Ben,
report card, he did have all A's and like 1 D. I mean, it's like
yeah.
a D is bad, but
Yeah, but once you set that bar,
yeah.
I
I mean,
they expect nothing less.
I wouldn't grill him too hard.
No, I'd be pretty
But again,
happy.
I wasn't the strictest student, so I guess.
Well, what subject? That's what I would ask. What subject?
Yeah. And they're yelling at Peter, and Peter runs away. He goes to stay over at Kong's house,
Yeah, that surprised me.
and Kong throws a party.
Kong's cool.
All the kids are there. And we see this girl hitting on him, Liz. And she's been drinking. And she's like, "What do you think of me, Peter?" And she's like, "I think you're just a little drunk, Liz. A little bit." He said, "You think you should be drinking?" She says, "A little bit." And she's trying to make out with him. And we see Mary Jane show up. She sees this
Yeah, she gets jelly.
Worst timing.
and runs away. And Peter runs to go get her, and he bumps into Uncle Ben,
There go Uncle Ben.
who is not happy with Peter.
No.
He's like, "What's wrong with you? What's going on?"
And this is where we have that famous talk.
And he tries to tell Peter, he's like, "You're such a smart kid, and this stupid behavior. Your father had a philosophy that he held to pretty strongly, and it served him very, very well. And he basically says, with great power comes great responsibility." He says the line.
Then I think he mentioned his parents and
Yeah.
Peter didn't really like that.
And with that will come great responsibility.
And he says, "Your father had this belief." And he's like, "My father, if he knew so much, then where the hell is he?"
And he's
I mean, you can't
can't
blame
help
him. He
that
probably
a
been
plane
holding in
crash.
anger since the day he got dropped.
He's an orphan.
Yeah.
That's another thing. He is an orphan. Spider-Man is an orphan.
Yeah, so.
all the great superheroes are orphans. That's how it starts out, man.
Yeah, that's true.
Superman, planet blew up. Batman, gunned down. Spider-Man, plane crash. Who else?
Countless. Like,
There's lots of
so
those.
Let's go down the list, guys. The trope.
Uncle Ben's like, "Peter, snap out of it." And we cut to this monstrous creature.
Just dim demonic looking. Just,
We see it saying, mumbling, but it seems to mumble Parker.
yeah, Parker. Yeah.
Obsessed.
Peter's sitting in the rain. He's like, "I'm a freak. No one gets it. I don't know what's wrong with me, what this power is."
Maybe I should tell
He's
him.
like, "I'm going to go home." He's like, "I'm going to let them know. They'll love me no matter what," is what he decides. But it's a lesson learned too late. Because as he shows up, and to his uncle and aunt's house, and the police are there. His Uncle Ben
Has been
killed, shot and killed.
Then he has like a little crazy vision.
No, this is.
Oh no, that's not him. That's Harry.
Yeah.
My bad.
We see someone who's broken into Harry Osborn's house, killed his mom,
It's crazy.
and it's the monster we saw earlier.
Yeah.
He's throwing fireballs, and he climbs out. He runs away, and Aunt May tells Peter, like, what happened with the robber. He broke into their house. Uncle Ben tried to calmly get him to calm down, give him the gun. And the guy shot and killed him. And it's awful.
It was crazy how they really didn't have no money to give.
Yeah, there's nothing to give.
So Peter's very upset by this. So, and now he realizes I do have the power to do something.
Yeah.
So he goes and puts on his costume.
Goes to get revenge.
And goes to let out some of that steam. He tracks down the murderer and pounces on him.
And beats the crap out of him.
He beats the crap out of him.
I would have killed him, to be honest.
And that's when Peter realizes that the murderer is none other than the mugger who he could have stopped earlier in the story. So he realizes this, and he throws the guy out the window with a rope attached, and he leaves. He spares him.
Which, in other continuities, he kills him. Right?
I would have killed him.
No, not in main continuity.
Oh, maybe I'm just remembering the Tobey Maguire movie because he kills him.
Yeah,
No,
you're in the movie.
the Tobey Maguire movie, he tripped and fell off. Like, he didn't actually kill him.
Oh.
He was tripped and fell out the window and landed on something. But it looked like he killed him.
Yeah. And Peter internalizes like, oh, with great power comes great responsibility. I didn't get it then, but I get it now. So he goes throughout the city and he stops all these crimes. He saves people. He uses power for good. And he's like, I'll never let you down again, Uncle Ben. He runs into Mary Jane, who asks him how he's doing, and that's all it takes for him to break down. It's just for someone to ask him how he's doing.
See, and this Mary Jane actually gives a shit.
Yeah, she's not with Paul. She's with Peter.
I guess you don't like Paul.
I don't like Paul.
I mean, they just go out of their way to ruin Spider-Man's life at this point.
I mean, Black Cat's better. Anyway.
Is she, though?
I think she only works as the temptation.
I mean, it's Black Cat.
Now, if you're talking about the perfect Spider-Man girlfriend, I think Gwen Stacy.
She cheated on my guy.
Which, rip.
That got retconned. That didn't happen now.
Yeah, it didn't.
It was
didn't
written in
happen.
the books on it. It happened. I don't care.
The ink is dry. Is
Exactly.
What he's trying to say.
Yes, it happened.
We'll do that book one day too.
She for the streets.
So we're introduced to yet another famous Spider-Man character, J. Jonah Jameson.
Woo!
That son of a bitch. I hate him.
And
You don't like him?
He has no reason to hate Spider-Man.
I think he's funny. He's an investigative journalist.
He haven't been investigated. I mean,
being paranoid is kind of his thing. So you gotta look at it that way.
well, at first it's just for like the sensationalist Spider-Man news, but he does establish like hatred for him that comes out of nowhere, and it's like completely unjustified.
I actually tried researching why he hates him. I cannot find why he hates him. Or at least a reason to hate him that bad. That every time you mention, some word come on your mouth.
I mean, I've heard some
Spider-Man.
things like he thinks that he's better than everyone, or that he's higher than the law is. Real heroes are firemen and police, not this costume bozo. He hates superheroes in general. From what
I think
I've seen.
I think he likes some of them.
I don't
He
know.
likes Captain America.
Like Captain America. And,
I mean, that's Captain America, though. I mean, he's the American, which J.J. Jameson is all about.
So J.J. Jameson's looking at the newspaper. And he's seeing all these other newspapers are talking about Spider-Man. And they're the only newspaper that didn't. They're talking about the Osborn house burning down. It's like, it's crap, we need to get on the Spider-Man thing. I want to know his name. I want to know his birth sign. I want to know if he can truly crawl on walls. Is he a mutant? Is he rocket from Earth from a doomed planet somewhere? But what's going on?
The biggest name in New York.
Sorry, man. This next scene's really cool.
And we see Peter is now in his basement, his lab.
In his birthday suit.
And he's got underwear on and a t-shirt. And he has successfully invented his web shooters.
Which I believe scientists today has a very hard time trying to figure out how to make actual webs.
And I have a comment about those webs. Cool. Why are they green?
It's just the coloring.
I don't like it.
They're not even green, dude. What are you talking about?
No, it's just they're green. You'll see later.
Oh, they're not green up there. But
it could have been messed up, like a messed up coloring or something.
Yeah, it's just the coloring.
Well, it's maybe I'm making too big a deal out of it. I'm sorry, guys.
So Peter staying up all night inventing the web shooter. He falls asleep in class, and while he's falling asleep in class, the teacher wakes him up. He breaks another desk.
Where's this man got a desk? I think he breaks more desks than WWE star.
He's just shattering these desks. And she's like, if you don't start acting up, I'm going to have a talk with the coach. And he's like, oh, no, I quit the team this morning. So, and Colin's like, what? You can't quit? You scored 114 points last game. You can't quit on us.
He put Shaylin to shame.
And Kong and Flash are talking to him about it. Kong's like, dude, why are you quitting?
Don't do that, please.
And Peter, the reason Peter's doing it is because with great power comes great responsibility. He knows it's not fair, it's not right that he can.
I don't care. I can't be a hero. Like I said, I would not be a good hero.
I mean, if you had money, you'd be a better hero.
And it was, as he puts it, being a sports person isn't him. That's not.
Oh, it is not him, but
I guess
he broke at the moment. He needs sponsorships. He needs
superhero
money.
And
Flash is being a dick again.
Flash is also being a dick, but Kong is also a dick because he says, "Oh, it wasn't you. Like, what do you mean? Why? How are you going to quit the team?" He's like, my uncle just died, dude. Like, I don't want to play basketball."
Yeah.
And he goes, "What? So your uncle dies and you don't play basketball? Who cares?" And he goes, "Wow, I thought you were my friend."
It's crazy.
Yes, it's.
You got
and then Harry comes on, and that's just awkward. I mean, Harry and Peter are going through rough spots, so I feel like they can connect on that. They can deepen their bond instead of.
Well, Harry shows up in his strange because Harry acts like nothing happened.
Yeah.
Over at his house.
Now, I'm pretty sure that it's kind of hard to process that, like a big old thing just came in with fireballs in your crib.
Yeah, but he acts like nothing at all has happened.
Yeah.
Why do you think that is?
Well, I know the reason why, but I can't tell you because it happens later in the book.
Dang. I'm curious about it.
We'll do more. If you like and comment on this video, and we'll do more Ultimate Spider-Man.
It's a really good book, guys.
And so we establish that Harry doesn't know anything. Then Peter starts getting his spider sense going off. There's an explosion in the school. And the school's on fire. And Harry's all of a sudden like, he's come for me. And Mary Jane's like, where's Peter? He disappeared.
He just dipped out.
Which I would.
And then we see Spider-Man in his full glory pop up.
Yeah, he got the webs on the suit and the spider symbol.
Just the
Yeah, crazy how that
Cool
small
suit,
detail makes
though.
a big difference.
it's a slick suit.
It's a great suit. Spider-Man's suit is iconic, for sure.
Do you like better than Batman's suit?
Oh, well, Batman's suit is also iconic.
Like, which one do you like better, though? Like, which design?
I mean, some suits are just.
Batman's
What?
my favorite superhero, so I have to say Batman, but
Oh, it's like bias.
that's a bias.
I mean, the
But
most.
Spider-Man's pretty damn great.
I mean, but I think the most iconic superhero attire of all time is Superman because, I mean, that's the superhero outfit. When you think of superhero, you think of cape, underwear. I mean, so
Well, Batman
I'm
had
sorry to
cape underwear,
bring. I'm sorry to just take it out of the way of the Spider-Man book, but I'm just saying.
And we have this weird Bendis-ism where Bendis went to the Quentin Tarantino School of Writing where he is like, we have to show you the end before we show you the beginning. We have to do this, what came after before it became before. It's dumb because we see Peter and Spider-Man jump into the building and then we cut to 2 minutes ago where Peter gets changed into Spider-Man and then jumps into the building again.
Yeah.
So it's like how he got here. It's like, why didn't you just show us that in the beginning?
In the order, just do it in
In the order.
Yeah, that's stupid.
It's
I hate
dumb.
when movies do
He
that
was
shit.
just trying something.
No, he does it all the time.
Oh,
All the time.
It's dumb.
I promise you, if we get further into this book, this series, he gets bad about it. There's one issue in particular where it's really, really, really egregious. Like, you almost can't follow what's going on because of how much he does it.
Yeah, it's stupid.
it just don't make sense with the comic book, does it?
Well, it just makes no sense right there because it's pointless. It was a pointless...
It's just random.
Yeah.
It's-
So Peter as Spider-Man goes into the school to figure out what caused the explosion. He sees this figure in the smoke.
And he looks dope in this picture. I just say.
And we're introduced, and here we have a controversial opinion.
Dude look dope. I'm sorry. Like,
Look,
who wants to fight
guys,
this?
I'm sorry in advance if I get annoying, but I just hate this design for Green Goblin.
I have to say,
Your opinion don't matter.
I'm with Caleb on this one.
Y'all opinions don't
I
matter.
loathe
Y'all opinions
this
don't matter. Y'all
design.
He's not even green.
You're wrong.
He's not green,
I don't care.
and
I don't
he doesn't
care.
even use grenades, guys.
Who cares? He got
It's
fired.
actual just fireballs
Which is-
from his hands.
which
That's
is
so
way-
stupid.
It's way better.
How does
than
that make sense?
Who cares
Well,
about
it's
grenades?
in this.
Who cares
It's
about grenades?
because he's genetically altered into a goblin man.
What? No. So
And he
Osborn was
he's
just
wearing
like
green.
Goblin.
Y'all not satisfied with that green? He's wearing green.
He's wearing
No.
purple.
He got green, like a green waist thing. A
No,
green,
that's not even green, Jay. You're colorblind.
He's
You're
not
wearing
even
glasses.
green.
He's wearing a trash bag over his head.
that's the whole. It was dope.
And no, look, I will tell you the dopest.
I would die
I
on
think
this
Green
hill.
Goblin with a suit.
I was down on this hill.
I
That
think
dude-
Green Goblin
he
with
looked like
like
a
a
mess.
super advanced suit is cooler.
I would not want to
than
fight that with
the
you talking
green
about-
skinned, grow a long nose and ears.
This
That's
green's
stupid.
good. This green.
At least with a suit, you can like do some cool stuff with it. In my opinion.
your opinion doesn't matter. In this
Yes, it does.
No, it doesn't matter. None of y'all do.
Jay,
Y'all got bad taste.
you're revoked
No.
on your opinions.
Well, Peter sees he looks more like the Hulk than Green
You gotta
Goblin.
back me up on this, Konner. I mean, a suit's cooler than
He
oh,
looks
my
more-
skin turns green. I got pointy ears
Well,
now.
in this, he's more like the Hulk than he is Green
And
Goblin.
Hulk is dope. So what? Like,
He's not Green Goblin though.
I don't give a damn.
That's
That's
not
a good
good.
fucking picture.
No, and he has like, okay. If I have to be positive about one thing,
What's more intimidating, the suit or that?
I don't know. You can make a suit look pretty good, man.
I said intimidating, not good looking. Intimidating. That looks scary as fuck.
It is intimidating. He's an imposing
And
figure.
he's towering over Spider-Man right now. He's like
Look, okay,
20 foot tall.
okay.
What
I can
Spider-Man?
appreciate the creativity of this.
Okay, just say this. That's all you gotta
Photo.
say. You appreciate it. That's good.
it's different. I can appreciate wanting to try something new. But new isn't always better, guys.
Just tell us what y'all think, because I think it's...
There's always classic stuff is usually the way to go, in my opinion.
Yeah, leave a comment down below which Green Goblin. I will say later in the series he does change. His appearance changes. He doesn't look like this. He becomes more goblin-y later in the series, and he becomes full green.
So why are you complaining?
Because it's still not green.
Just stop
it doesn't get any better.
Why complain?
Ooh, he gets more green.
And he becomes like naked, and he doesn't wear purple anymore.
Who cares about purple?
That's the only thing that I think is cool. Everything else is kind of lame.
Like your taste.
Guys, put a L in the comments if Jay's opinion is wrong. I just want to know this. I want to know if I'm doing too much. Because golly.
To move further in the book.
Doesn't even use grenades. He has fireballs.
Well, it's because it's genetically altered. It does make sense in this book.
It enhances what's already there. He already had fireballs?
In main continuity, he dresses like a goblin. In this, he is a goblin man. He is genetically altered into a goblin man. A goblin man shoots fire. That's just what happens when you're a goblin man.
Yeah.
Just deal with it. Deal with it.
No, it's so dumb.
Peter asks him if he's the new home ec teacher.
He just talks shit and beats the shit out of him the whole time. I think he beats his ass, honestly.
Yeah, Peter's honestly mopping the floor with him. Cracking one-liners.
I mean, he's eating the hits, though. I mean...
He is gigantic.
But... Green Goblin grabs him. He gets his hands on him eventually. He starts squeezing the life out of him.
Not green.
His head is green, but the rest of his body.
Okay, so like
that looks so dumb, Jay. How can you? Now I do like what they do with the glowing eyes and how they did that. I think that's cool.
But when he's squeezing the life out of Peter, and he says Peter's name, Parker, and which makes Peter say, "Oh, who are you?" Also, another thing you need to know about Bendis is every issue has to end on a cliffhanger, if you notice that.
Yeah.
Every single issue has to end on a cliffhanger. So, Peter hears him say, Parker. He asks, who are you? And they're fighting. He throws Peter down. Peter makes like a web trampoline.
The first time he's ever used his webs.
He forgot he had web shooters. Which is pretty funny. Like, oh, I'm about to die. Oh, wait.
Yeah, and he tries web swinging for the first time, which is awesome.
Of course.
He kicks him in the back. They tussle some more.
He's just mopping them.
But as they're fighting...
Pretty long fight.
Yeah, it's a long fight.
Well,
people are starting to get in danger. There's like a helicopter crew.
Shooting at the goblin.
Yeah. And they shoot the Green Goblin. And Peter's like, stop shooting.
Honestly, I was mad at Spider-Man. Like, why? Why stop? Get rid of him. He's a problem.
But the Green Goblin gets shot in. They're fighting on top of the bridge, and he falls off the bridge into the water below. And the cops are like, Peter's like, I'm gonna go down there and get him. I'm gonna save him. And they go, you're under arrest. Like, lie on the ground with your hands out.
Cops and comforts piss me off.
And
so
Peter's like, ugh,
like,
what?
Why go for the hero?
See what I mean? The webs are green.
It's just the coloring.
I don't like it. I'm annoying, guys.
Deal with it.
This is my bad.
And the cops try to shoot Peter. He escapes.
Dodging bullets. It's pretty cool.
And he pretends he got stuck in the school.
Yeah, he was under like a dry erase board or something.
And meets up with his friends. And there's even a comment where they're trying to figure out what that thing was. And Harry's like, it was my father. It was Norman Osborn. He didn't die in his lab last week, like you said. And Flash is like, dude, you need a breather. And Kong says that was the Hulk or something. Literally calling him the Hulk. Because he looks like the Hulk.
It's still dope. I don't care. Like, it's dope. That was a dope look.
They acknowledge it. They acknowledge he doesn't look like Green Goblin. He looks like the Hulk.
Why is that a problem?
Because he's not the Hulk.
He don't have to be the Hulk. He still was dope. He's a buff, 10-foot goblin, which is awesome.
It's...
Y'all just too picky. Y'all just weird.
Anyway,
it's a poor choice of design, is what I say.
Aunt May and Mary Jane's aunt come on, and they grab them. And Peter's like, "Oh, I feel bad for Harry," and he's trying to kill me for some reason.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, "Man, I hope this all works out. At least it's all over." And cut to yet another cliffhanging ending where we see bubbles rise from the surface of the water and that Norman Osborn is still alive.
Like a bullet gonna kill that big thing.
And that's the end of Volume 1. Very, very awesome start to what would become my favorite run on Spider-Man. So, guys, was there any... Well, we've made clear some of our disagreements. Any likes and dislikes?
I'm right, so that's all I need to know. I'm always right.
Konner, just lay him down. Just lay him down. Finish him.
Y'all trash. That's what y'all know that.
Peter Parker is very interesting in this book.
Best superhero.
He is one of the... I mean...
Arguably.
He's the best superhero. I would down the hill. That is not... He ain't really sacrificing nothing, alright? I'm sorry to say it. He's a billionaire. He got it easy.
I mean...
Peter Parker definitely has a... Well, he doesn't have to deal with the Joker.
Riz. And he got more riz than Batman. So
he has more riz than Batman.
Yeah.
That is... Yeah, I mean... Well, if you want to know who has the most riz, I would say that's Matt Murdock, Daredevil, but...
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, he pulls the most.
Elektra. That's the most I know, anyways. But I haven't read a lot of Daredevil.
We'll do some Daredevil. But yeah, I mean, so what you guys think?
I liked it.
I liked it. It was fun to read.
It
was fun to read. I like Spider-Man. One of my top 5 favorite superheroes. So.
You like Superman? Be quiet.
Spider-Man's probably Spider-Man.
I'm not quiet about that.
Superman's great. Spider-Man. I don't know if I'd say he's my favorite Marvel hero, but
you're just a hater.
He's up there. He's definitely top 3. He's probably number 2. Spider-Man is.
Who's number? Oh yeah, Batman.
No, I'm saying it for Marvel.
Oh, who's number 1?
I don't know if it would be Daredevil or...
Daredevil's cool, though. I mean, he's edgy. He's cool. He has a cool design.
I don't know if it would be Daredevil or Wolverine or...
Wolverine's cool, too.
Mine is Spider-Man, Blade, Wolverine.
Well, we're going to do a topics channel also. So if you guys like hearing us talk about a certain topic... Things like that.
If you like hearing Jay be wrong.
If you like hearing Jay be wrong all the time, 24/7.
Oh, okay.
And us voice our correct opinions. you can check out our topics channel, and we'll be filming those soon.
Yeah.
But yeah, this was Ultimate Spider-Man by Brian Michael Bendis. This introduced a lot of people for the first time to Spider-Man. It reinvigorated old Spider-Man lovers' love of Spider-Man. It was just a really great thing, and I'm glad we got to read it. So, if y'all like this video, we'll make sure to do more Ultimate Spider-Man later on. And thanks for watching. This is OB Comics, and thanks for being here. See ya.